Kentucky Oaks coming up this Friday at Churchill Downs. Weather may be a factor, but we're not going to let any possible rain on the Kentucky Oaks or on you heading over to NYRA If you're not a member of NYRA Bets, use the promo code Derby25 at NYRABets.com. You'll get a free $25 Derby bet as well as the usual $200 sign-up bonus. Last year's undefeated and currently undefeated 2-year-old champ, Echo Zulu. Will she be the horse to win a race for Steve Asmussen in Kentucky as his losing streak is stretched to over 70, which is pretty remarkable heading into Derby weekend considering the players he has. But he's got a very, very good one in Echo Zulu. But Echo Zulu is going to have some questions to answer after this performance in her return race in the Fairgrounds Oaks. Now, she got it done barely over Hidden Connection. Hidden Connection ran better, 3 wide the whole way. Echo Zulu had a very, very soft trip in here, and Echo Zulu may have to deal with the speed inside of her of Uguri, and she's going to have to do it at 1.125 and she's going to have to show that if not every bit as good as last year, maybe better than last year, because last year there was very little competition among the 2-year-old fillies. Things have changed dramatically. Echo Zulu is going to have to show whether or not she's a horse that's better in the one-turn races like our Acorn on Belmonte or the Test at Saratoga, and I'm going to bet against her in here. But I know she's good, and I'm scared of her. I am going to use Hidden Connection a little bit. She's run some pretty good races, and I thought she ran very, very well in the Fairgrounds Oaks. She'll be a much better price. She's in my play somewhere. Here's the horse that's going to take money that I'm betting against, and that's Kathleen O. We'll take a look at her decisively winning the Gulfstream Oak over another player in here, Goddess of Fire, for trainer Shug McGay, and she's undefeated in 4 starts. But she's won 3 straight races down at Gulfstream Park, and we'll see how those runners do when they start heading into different territories. Her prior races to the Gulfstream Oaks are nowhere near fast enough to win this race. Obviously, the 98 buyer figure she got last time is easily good enough to win this race. I am looking at it with a grain of salt. I look at Goddess of Fire, who ran a 94 buyer in defeat. She had never run better than an 80. How good is she? The horses that finished 3rd through 6th behind them are not even competitive in any way, shape, or form. This is a much, much tougher bunch. I want to see her do it against a tougher bunch, Kathleen O, a horse that will take money that I am trying to beat. The horse I like in the Kentucky Oaks, it's Secret Oath. And we'll take a look at her winning the Honeybee at Oaklawn. This is 2 starts ago, when she was dominating much, much weaker foes. But she did dominate Uguri, who we're going to take a look at shortly, winning the Fantasy at Oaklawn. Secret Oath's a very, very good horse. And they took a shot in the Arkansas Derby, tried to get some Derby points. She got a ridiculous ride in that day. She was wide on both turns. She lost position at key moments. She moved backwards when she should have been moving forward. And she gets a big rider change to Luis Saez. And it matters a lot. I like she drew the rail. She's not a speed. She'll save ground the first turn. She is very good. Her Arkansas Derby is better than it looks. And I think she is going to be very, very tough to beat in this Kentucky Oaks. Nest was made the morning line favorite. Todd Pletcher, he's had a lot of success in this race, including last year winning it with Malathot in that terrific stretch duel we saw. Nest has really come around, a horse who obviously loves the distance. She's not going to be a problem with it. And you have to like a horse that had a breakout performance like she did in the Ashland. Now, I don't know how good that field was. Obviously, we'll see Cocktail Moments is also in this field, and she's not competitive, but she basically ran her figure in finishing second. And the 3rd-place finisher, Interstate Daydream, who I liked in here, was coming off a huge win for Brad Cox at Oaklawn Park. Now, she didn't run back to it, but she's pretty good. And I think this was a very, very legitimate win for Nest. It was a track with some moisture. She's likely to get moisture in the Kentucky Oaks. I don't know that she'll be favored, and if she was favored, I would never bet on her. I think she could be 2nd or 3rd choice. Regardless, she's a player. I'm using her in there somewhere. I just prefer Secret Oath to her. Let's take a look at our Gazelle in New York, where Nostalgic got an absolute dream trip and a terrific ride up the inside by Jose Ortiz, and she's an improving horse for Godolphin and trainer Bill Mott, and she beat the New York-bred Venti Valentine. Make no mistake, I'm not using these horses, but I hope I'm wrong because, listen, I'm a homer, and I'm rooting for horses that ran at my favorite track in New York, Aqueduct. I just don't think Nostalgic's really good enough, and she got a dream trip up the rail, which was a good place to be that day. I think Venti Valentine probably ran the better race in here. She ran extremely well in the Busher. Now, she's run well as she did in the Demoiselle when she lost to Nest, but Nest was much better than that day, and I think Nest has taken steps forward. But so has Venti Valentine, and she's good. And if she runs back to her Busher around a 1-turn mile in here, she's a long shot to cut up the field, upset the field, or at least get a piece. If Nostalgia wins, Nostalgic, I lose. Let's go out to Santa Anita and take a look at Desert Dawn. Desert Dawn was a long shot when she upset the Santa Anita Oaks last time, outrunning Adari Minor down towards the inside. Adari Minor is not going to play, or Manor, is not going to play. So Desert Dawn, what do you do with her? Well, she certainly wasn't good enough to win this race or be competitive until her last race. But I think she ran well enough here that she has a chance to get a piece of this race, and she's probably going to be a very good price. And the horses she left in her wake are good horses that had run faster figures. So I think there's every reason to believe her last race was legitimate. And Desert Dawn is a long shot that will be in my play somewhere in the Kentucky Oaks. Finally, let's head over to Oaklawn and take a look at a race that could have a lot of importance in here in Ugari winning and beating Burgoyne. Burgoyne is in the also eligibles, unlikely to play in this race unless there's a scratch and she gets in. She'll be drawn to the outside. It wasn't a particularly good running of the race, but you have to admire Ugari's grit and the fact that she can be a very determined horse on the front end. The problem is she only is really effective when she's racing towards the front end. She's got to go. She's inside Echo Zulu. She's got to hold off Echo Zulu to her outside and then hold off the closers. But she holds somewhat of a key to the race because she may make Echo Zulu do a little more work early than she's done in some of her races, and that could potentially soften up last year's 2-year-old champ. Secret Oath over Nest, over Hidden Connection, over Desert Dawn for me. You know, the usual. 1, 4, 3, 9, the Kentucky Oaks. A fun race, a big race, and an appetizer for the Kentucky Derby. And the best way for you to play it is to play it at Naira Bets. Head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, nairabets.com. Use the promo code DERBY25, free $25 Derby bet, and a $200 sign-up bonus.